big changes on there. Over the last year, we're adding about 1,000 new rooms. So the product is changing in a very good way. And I just want to bring you through a review about what the island has to offer, how you get there, how long it'll take you to get there, the different areas the different resort areas, and just review the new hotels and also point out some of the ones that are on the maps that I'll show you as well. Again, as a point of information, I joined the Tourism Authority as the BDM for the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast on January 1st. I had previously represented them for 8 out of the previous 10 years. The thing that got in the way was the pandemic. So my contract was null and void during a couple of years, but I came back about a year and three quarters, actually close to 2 years ago, just covering the Mid-Atlantic. And as I was mentioning earlier to Lakeisha, I approached my manager and said, "You don't have anybody in the Southeast. Would you think about maybe offering the position to me?" And lo and behold, after about 4 months of talking to them and getting approvals and all that, I assumed 5 more states. So I now cover everything from the Mid-Atlantic, which is Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, DC, and Delaware, the Carolinas, Georgia, not Florida, and also Tennessee and Kentucky. So if you're in Michigan, I'm not your BDM, but if you'd like, I can also send you a listing of the people that we have around the United States that can work with you. And also, one of the things that I also like to do when I finish a presentation like this is also to follow up with some printed materials. So some PDFs that will give you contacts at resorts and restaurants and summarizing our various all-inclusives and all that. So if at the end, like you can tell me how I can do that, I'd love to share that with information with you. So anyway, let me get started so that we can end at a reasonable time. So Aruba is called the One Happy Island, and when you look at a picture like this and you see beautiful white sand and crystal clear water and clouds in the sky, but no hurricanes nearby. That helps it to be the one happy island. Let me see why it's not advancing. Here we go. Bingo. So I have a video that reflects the new direction that we're going. We sort of have a slightly new tagline. It used to be called the Aruba Effect, but the Aruba Effect, which is sort of like an intangible, tangible feeling that you feel when you go there, has broadened. And basically, this video, I think, would just give you a good idea about how we perceive ourselves and where we're going.
Long ago, this island was unknown. Then, people came. They found soft white sand and healing water. And they knew it was special. A place to be cherished, protected. So they gave it their love. And in return, the island gave them a home, a place to grow and be happy. And because it was in their nature, they invited others to explore its beauty, to bask in its joy and soak in its majesty. The grandi and the chiquita. Many people have fallen in love with this island, and when you embrace its warm nature, endless sunshine, and generous people, every of this island loves you back. That is a feeling. Unlike anything else. Long ago, this island was unknown.
So the message there is when you love Aruba, Aruba loves you back. It shows you that there's a benefit of having literally 100 different nationalities and cultures that have contributed to make Aruba what it is. And when you go there with the thought in mind of relaxation, wellness, taking advantage of the food and the music and just the ambiance that you feel there, it's appreciated and you get it in return. So it's a symbiotic relationship. And so It really, really does work well. That's the sort of new tagline that we're going with. Anyway, TripAdvisor readers are obviously the smartest in the world because they voted Aruba as the number one best of the best top destination in the Caribbean. Who am I to question their judgment? So let me just hit the arrow over here. So again, our people and our culture. I mentioned before that there are about 100 different nationalities that have a relationship with Aruba. And that goes with 112,000 permanent residents. Why is my machine not doing what I'm looking for? Hold on a sec. Bear with me a second. Okay, so 112,000 permanent residents coming from 100 different nationalities. And again, what they contribute to the island, as I mentioned, education, culinary, music, um, dance, artisticness. I mean, a whole blending of different aspects that enhance people's lives. And so we pride ourselves by being able to offer this to our visitors. So again, you go to Aruba, and if you go there only with the mindset of going there to lounge, chaise lounge for 6 or 7 days in the sun, you're really not taking advantage of all that Aruba has to offer. So again, we have the different cultures. We have um, foods. We have everything else that you might want to have that can enhance your experience. There are four languages that are spoken there. English is predominant. Of course, everybody will speak English. Spanish, because we're only 15 miles north of Venezuela, so there's a fairly strong emphasis from Latin America. Dutch because we're part of the Dutch kingdom, and Papiamento, which is the local dialect of the ABC Islands, a blending of English, Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese, French, and more. I don't know everything, but if you saw Papiamento written, and if you understand Spanish, words will look familiar to you. Although I know words, there's no chance I can have a conversation. So anyway, let's move on. For some reason, I have to use the cursor. Anyway, activities. Island surrounded by water. Of course, we have tons of water activities, but we have a ton of activities that you can do on the land as well. So here you have a picture. This is actually in an area called Mangle Halto, which is a beach area that's surrounded by these mangrove swamps, and you have things like upright paddleboarding, which is an activity you can do there. You can hang at the beach. You can go swimming. You can do snorkeling over there, and it's actually very, very reachable. All the beaches, by the way, in Aruba, and there are 22 of them, I believe, 21 or 22 are public. So the locals will mingle with visitors and just experience the island that way. Again, some additional activities you can see here. We have the butterfly farm. Butterfly farm works really well for families. Also for families, we have a lot of animals. So animal features, if you will. We have the butterfly farm, we have the donkey sanctuary, we have the ostrich farm, we have Phillips Animal Farm. So we have different things that families can do. But here you see a picture, for example, of yoga and wellness taking place in the butterfly sanctuary. So it's a different sort of vibe, peaceful and serene. For the outdoorsy folks, you can see that we do a lot of trekking in the Arakat National Park, which is when you see a map, you'll see that it's outlined in green, it's highlighted in green, but please don't be misled. It's very arid and dry, as you can see in the picture. You'll see cactus all over the island. You'll see desert-like conditions, so it is a desert, but you can trek through it. You can also go on the upright paddle boards and do yoga. I admire these three women for having great talents and balance and all that. So tons of things that you can do on the island. So these are three pictures that took place on the northern part of the island, the northern coast. That's where you have the Aruba National Park. But as you can see, we're formed as a volcanic island, where you'll see, for example, on the lower left, you'll see the Baby Bridge. Now, we had Natural Bridge. Natural Bridge was a bridge that was caused by erosion by wind and water. And Natural Bridge actually fell down about 15 years ago. But before Natural Bridge went down, she gave birth to smaller baby bridges. And that's one of the excursions that you can do on a visit to the northern part of the island. The picture that you see on the lower left is a baby bridge. On the upper left, you also see that we have these utility vehicles which do the off-roading. So again, it's very barren, it's very desert-like. When I see a picture like that, I say, well, imagine if you're in Arizona, in the desert in Arizona, but you're surrounded by water. You'll see that the land is different over in the northern part. You'll see it's rocky. You'll see it's elevated off the coastline. There are some pockets where you can in fact swim on the north coast, and the picture on the right side gives you an idea about these pools that have been formed geologically millions of years ago, where if you have the right kind of vehicle and are driving to that part of the island, you can in fact swim there. But there are also a couple small, very cove-like beaches where you can swim. So outdoor activities, water activities, absolutely both. And again, so let's go to the next one. So again, some other activities that are water-based: snorkeling, I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember the name. Anyway, boogie boarding. Thank you very much. Kite surfing, parasailing. We are not known as a reef diving or snorkeling location. We're primarily based. We do have reefs, so of course you see a lot of fish, but we're primarily known for having our wrecks. And I'll show you a map later on in the presentation where you see all these red flags, and those show the areas where the diving and the snorkeling typically takes place. If you want to do your reef diving, Bonaire, our sister island, further to the east, is typically what they're known for. Let's move on. So there is a company. Well, this is a vessel called Monforte 3, which is actually the only adults only catamaran that sails during the day and also in the evening. It's part of Pelican Adventures, and Pelican Adventures is one of the destination management companies on the island that does water-based activities. But here you can see what Montfort does. It's kind of cool because dining for the sunset sail, well, white tablecloths, cloth tablecloths with glass wine glasses. And if you go earlier in the day, you can get your mimosa while you're hanging on the catamaran, and also have the barbecue where you get to get your food. So it's a cool thing. You should think about them for the folks that want to do things that are adult oriented. We have culture. So the picture on the upper left is a picture that shows you some of the festivities from our carnivals and festivals take place and look at it. The picture on the bottom left is actually a staircase with mosaic in Rogers Beach. Rogers Beach sits right next to Baby Beach, and both of those are on the very eastern side of the island, and they sit right next to the major city that's out there. It's called San Nicolas. San Nicolas was formed. Pardon me, I apologize. My presentation's been jumping around for some reason. I don't know why. But San Nicolas's main history was it was formed to house the workers that were working at the refinery that refined oil that came out of Venezuela. The Venezuelans, I guess, didn't want to have to refine the oil on Venezuelan soil for whatever their reason. We're only 15 miles away, and again, it was a good thing for the Aruban economy. Well, San Nicolas grew up to house the workers at the refinery. Refineries closed. San Nicolas fell into a little bit of disrepair, but over the years, the artists of the art world has found San Nicolas. So there are artists who have their studios there. They have galleries. There's an organization called Artisa, which has programs for Aruban youth and also visitors on the island. And they also do a walking tour of the murals that are on about 50 to 70 buildings. And most of the murals have a meaning. They're just not pictures. And so San Nicolas has this really cool vibe. When I was in Aruba last week, part of the group that I was with did a very brief walking tour of the murals because it was raining. Yes, it does rain in Aruba. And anyway, so that's San Nicolas. So that's why I talk about it at this point. Moving right along, the next picture. I'm never quite sure exactly what to say when I see these slides, because what it tells you is that if you want to go to a bar in Aruba, it's very easy to do. We actually have two speakeasies, both in Aranyastat, our capital city. They require reservations. There isn't the secret handshake. You don't have to have, the secret password to get in. But it's a cool way to experience the shall we call them, the mastery of the mixologists on the island. But at this point, I usually like to say that when you're in Aruba, you could also feel very comfortable drinking the water. Why is that? We have the second largest desalination plant on the planet. So when you turn on the tap in the morning to brush your teeth, you can feel very comfortable with having the water in your mouth. If you're thirsty and you have to take your pills in the morning or in the evening, do it then as well with the tap water. So one of the other benefits of having water that you can drink is that we also wash all the vegetables, and you can eat a salad there. And if you have a cocktail that has ice cubes in it, you can drink the drink with the ice in it. So no problems at all. So that's how we are in terms of our drinking the water and our beverage system. So we are known as a foodie's paradise in that we have about 400 restaurants on the island. Everything from restaurants like this. This is the flying. This is a flying fishbone where you can actually dine in the water. If you wanted to eat high end, we have I think 8 or 9 chef's tables where you can do a multiple course, 5 to 10 course, small plate menu, where you can also pair it with wines. If you wanted to eat local, Flying Fishbone, Z Rovers are two restaurants that are what you eat in the evening and for lunch was probably caught that morning. And again, you can eat either over the water or in the water. If you want a taste of home, you can get KFC, you can get a McDonald's and Burger King and Pizza Hut. Not sure why you'd like to, but it's there for you if you'd like. And literally anything and everything in between. If you want to spend money, you can do it on the high end. If you want to do it sort of on a more casual basis, we do that as well. We have 400 restaurants. Because we have 400 restaurants and we want to protect the industry, we have capped the number of all-inclusive resorts at 40% of the total inventory in Aruba. So everybody loves selling an all-inclusive, and I encourage you to do that if you'd like. I'll talk about some of the all-inclusives later. But if you're sending somebody to an all-inclusive, see if you could just convince them to at least just one night. Go off property, sample one of the restaurants. They're going to find something that they can't get home. And so it's really worthwhile for them to experience the culinary cuisine. Along with that, in October, we're having our second annual food festival, which is called Auténtico, which Spanish, I suspect, would mean authentic, or in Papiamento, authentic. I haven't seen the schedule yet. It's going to be coming out, but it's going to be in downtown Iranistan. There will be cooking demonstrations. There will be ways to get food. There will be educational sessions and all that. And it's something that worked well last year, so we're doing it again. And as I get more information about that, I'll be happy to share it with everybody as well. So now let's go into the various different locations where we have our resorts. So if you sent people to Aruba in the past, you'll hopefully remember, or now you'll know that Aruba, or rather Palm Beach, is where we have the high-rise hotels. The high-rise hotels with names that you remember, such as the Hilton, the Hyatt, the Marriott, the Ritz-Carlton, the two Rius. I apologize, I don't know why it's jumping around, but it's jumping around. Um, the Holiday Inn, the brand new St. Regis. So because the buildings are larger, you obviously have more guests that are staying there. When you have more guests in a concentrated area, things get a little bit tighter than they were before. But on the flip side, you also have more activities. That's where the DMCs like the Pelican Adventures and Red Sail have their catamarans where they all depart from. That's where you'll have more restaurants and shopping and nightlife and clubs. So the benefit for Palm Beach is that if you have an active traveler who wants to be around the nightlife and wants to be able to do things, yet also have a beach experience, that's a great place to send them. So when you look at the map, Palm Beach is over here where the red stars. So let me bring you into Aruba. Queen Beatrix Airport is located right over here. And as I mentioned, we're part of the Dutch Kingdom, so we're named after Queen Beatrix, the Queen of the Netherlands. And so from here, from the airport to Oranjestad, our capital city, maybe 10 minutes. However, you'll see that there's an anchor over here. This is where we have our cruise ship terminal. We can take up to four of the large ships. So if we were blessed by having 4 large ships in town at one time, you could have roughly 20,000 people or more coming through Oranjestad and sort of going out of Oranjestad at that time. The cruise ships will affect the ability to get through Oranjestad to get first to Eagle Beach and then to Palm Beach. So Normally, without any traffic, 10 minutes. With more traffic, maybe 20 minutes. If you continue on to Palm Beach, it'll take you about another 15 or so minutes. So easy to get to. We have a concrete walkway that goes from the very top of Palm Beach all the way down actually to Eagle Beach. And you could walk all the way through, but if you just did the Palm Beach portion, it'll take maybe about 30 minutes. If you look all the way up to all the way to the tip, we have the California Lighthouse over here. Tierra del Sol is a resort community. That's where they have championship golf course that has just gotten a complete renovation. So it's brand spanking new. There are hotels. There's talk about Iberostar actually putting a hotel up there right by Mammoth Beach. Actually, Iberostar owns this resort area. There's a great restaurant overlooking the sea. It's called El Faro Blanco. Great place to go for sunset. When you come further south, you'll see that we have the Ritz-Carlton at the top, and it doesn't reflect the new building, but right over here, right south of the Rio Palace is where the St. Regis went in. Two other hotels that are here, Brickell Bay has been renamed the Trip by Wyndham. It's not part of the Wyndham brand. It's an adults-only boutique hotel. They've got about 90 rooms. They did a great job. It's about a 6-minute walk from the beach. It's right in the heart of the action. I stayed there last week. They've done a great job on upgrading it, so you can feel comfortable sending your folks that want to have an all-inclusive experience. I'm sorry, an adult experience boutique hotel in the Palm Beach area. Right next to it, you'll see also that it says the Mill. The Mill was actually converted several years ago, so unfortunately this map is not completely up to par. It's now the Courtyard by Marriott Resort. And I throw in the word resort because it's a resort. It's not your average typical courtyard that you'll see anywhere else in the United States. Moving further down, you'll see, for example, we have the butterfly farm here. We have the bird sanctuary, which is behind Palm Beach. We are in the pathway of the birds as they go north and south during their migration, if you will. So you see something like 100 different types of birds on the island. Moving right along, let me show you the video, which shows you what the area looks like from a drone. You see that the main street that you're seeing the cars go very rapidly over here. Obviously don't drive that fast, but the resort properties basically start from the road back to the beach. Hilton's over here, Barcelo's over here, the second tower is over here for Barcelo. On the other side is the Hilton. I'm sorry, the Marriott. But you'll see this is where all the activity is. This is where you'll get you'll do clubbing, you'll go for meals, you'll book activities and such. So this just kind of gives you a good overview about what it looks like. Now let's talk a couple resorts. So this is the Hilton. Hilton is actually the first hotel in all of Palm Beach. This tower is built, I think, in 1964 as the Aruba Caribbean. The architect was a guy, I think his name is Morris Lapidus, and his claim to fame is that he also designed a lot of the resorts in Miami Beach in the 50s. So like the Fontainebleau, the Diplomat, the Deauville, maybe not the Diplomat, those are all him. Anyway, he built this hotel. So this is the first tower. This is the Aruba Tower. The smaller one over here is called the Bonaire Tower. The third one over here is called the Curacao Tower, so ABC. But they have this huge piece of land. So they're currently undergoing some renovations. They're building a fourth tower, which actually will be located right over here. It's called the Westerly. I'll talk about that on my next slide. But this pool that you see right over here is currently being rebuilt. This building over here, which was called Gilligan's, which was their lunch and dinner restaurant, is being rebuilt to be the Shore Club, which is what you see over here on the right. And behind Gilligan's is the spa, and that's also being redone. When all's said and done, they've targeted the end of this year. I'll keep my fingers crossed because I'm not sure they're going to make it. When all is done, they're going to be a gorgeous hotel. The rooms in the Hilton were renovated about 2 years ago, and it looks great. But this is the artist rendering or the CGI version of what the Westerly will look like. And the reason that they call it the Westerly is because the winds that typically hit Aruba are coming from the west, and they're called the Westerlies. I believe they're going to have 161 rooms in suites. The first floor, you can see that they have the swim out suite. So the first floor is adults only, as is, not sure exactly why, but as is the ninth floor, which is the for adult only floor. Everything in between is for families. So they're treating this as if it's a hotel within a hotel. So when you walk into the main lobby in the Aruba Tower, there's a separate check-in area for the folks that are going to be going here to the Westerly. Again, and also building a rooftop of pool and a lounging area. It's going to be gorgeous. Again, they've said end of year. I'll keep my fingers crossed, but I'm not going to hold my breath. And you can go to the hotel's website and click on the see what's coming, and they'll bring you up to date as exactly what's happening over there. This is what the rooms are going to look like. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. They have a mock-up, and I've seen it a couple times now. It's really going to be nice. So what you're seeing with a hotel like the Hilton and the Westerly, it's elevating the quality of all the rooms on the island, which is why Hyatt's doing a renovation, the Divi's did a renovation, the Marriott's doing a renovation, the Trip by Wyndham did a renovation. So it's elevating the quality and regrettably the price of accommodations to some degree, but we're sort of entering a more luxury destination kind of a vibe. And I'll just leave it at that. And of course, there are deals to be had, and there are properties that have a lower price point. But I think in general, you're going to see, because of all the new building and all the renovating that's going on, I wouldn't be surprised if hotels raise their prices just a little bit. Talking about brand new hotel, St. Regis. So it sits, whoops, right over here on the left side of this picture will be the, sorry, that's jumping, will be the Rio Antilles. And so you have the oceanfront rooms over here, ocean view on this side, ocean view on the other side. They opened up in, I'll say January, somewhere in the middle part of January, something like 250 some odd rooms. And they haven't finished doing their brochure and doing their photo shoots as of yet, I don't believe, because I'm still working with the CGI pictures, but you can see what it looks like. The rooms are gorgeous. They all have these four-poster beds. It's pricey. The rooms season go like about $1,000 a night or more. I found out when I was there last week that they have a travel agent special, something like $300 a night. And so that's a really good price for a resort of this caliber. This is their lobby. This is their lobby bar, and you can't quite see it, but this piece of artwork up there is it's a hibiscus flower, and when you move, you see if the view of it changes. So it's kind of cool. Every night on the patio outside over here, they do a ceremony where they take a bottle of champagne and with a saber they lop off the neck, and they go through roughly 6 to 7 bottles of champagne. They will ask the guests that are there if they'd like to give it a shot, and they do it. So it's a ritual that happens every evening at 6:30. Love this hotel. Love it, love it, love it. You'll see that they have a casino. Casinos on the island. We have, I think, now 14 or 15. There are several standalones, but they're mainly in the resorts. And they also have a spa there, and it's really just a really, really nice upscale EP hotel. So now let's move down to Eagle Beach. And this picture is in the water looking back at this resort, which is called Manchego Beach Resort. On the other side of it is Bucudian Tower. But what you have over here, again, is just crystal clear water. The white sand is great. We have the kind of sand in Aruba where the sand absorbs the heat. It doesn't reflect it. So you'll never get blisters on your feet from walking in the sand, which is really, really kind of cool. And again, I talked to you about when I was in New Jersey or Ocean City or Fenwick Island in Delaware, when you go into the water, you can't see your toes. Well, guess what? You absolutely can see your toes, and it's just very, very crystal clear water. So where are we? Eagle Beach is over here. What makes Eagle Beach Eagle Beach? So this is where we have our low-rise hotels. And there are 2 new hotels that are right about over here. The first one is the Embassy Suites, which opened its February. I believe it's going to be 3 years. So it's low rise in the sense that it's only 3 stories, but it's about a 300 room hotel. EP hotel, but all suites. I saw that last week. I had breakfast there. Very nice hotel. Right adjacent to it, or not far from it, I should say, a little bit further south, is the brand new Joya Aruba by Iberostar. Unlike the other Joyas, it's a family-friendly EP hotel. Again, we only limited the rooms in the inventory to 40%. The last hotel that came in as an all-inclusive, I'll get to, it's Secrets Baby Beach. But Joya is a gorgeous property and it sits over there. So here you'll see Amsterdam Manor, for example. They have a restaurant which is called Passions on the Beach. I had dinner there last week. You watch the sunset with your toes in the sand. It's gorgeous. Wonderful cuisine. A bunch of different timeshares, La Cabana, Tropicana, Paradise Beach, and what have you. But there are two properties that are really, really quite good over here. First, I'll talk about Joya. Joya opened up in December. They just actually about 2 weeks ago opened up the additional rooms that weren't yet open. They had to delay it because they were waiting for two restaurants to open that they needed certification from the government. Somehow they were able to open up the rooms without the restaurants being open as of yet, but they should open shortly. This is a view of the property looking back from the water. They have the oceanfront rooms over here, as you can see over on the ends, and as well the middle part is oceanfront. They've got the ocean views on the sides. Gorgeous property. Pardon me. They've got three swimming pools, I believe. Um, they've got a fantastic fitness room. You'll see that they have, I think it's 10 of these swim out suites, which is a great category, adults only over there, liability reasons, but they do a great, great job. This is what it looks like. This is what the swim out suites look like as well. They're across the street from the beach, but literally it takes 2 minutes to get over there, and you can get service over there. They have like a beach concierge who will give you beverages and food and all that. You can get that from the resort. Um, and yeah, it's just a really, really nice restaurant. I feel very comfortable selling it. Very, very nice resort. Sorry about that. Before we get to Oranjestad, where there are two hotels, Manchego. Manchego sits right next to Bukudi and Tara. Bukudi and Tara is adults only EP. Manchego is family friendly EP, but they're both low-rise properties. Upscale Bukudi and Tara, they run like 97% occupancy year round. Very, very popular with honeymooners. If you try to book the resort through your favorite tour operator and can't get the room, if you reach out to them directly, chances are very good that you'll be able to pop a room. But another alternative to them, lower price point, different kind of vibe, not adults only, is Manchego. And so they share the same beach. So it's this wide stretch of beach, tons of elbow room. You're not sitting on top of each other. And that would be a great alternative. Further down Eagle Beach, the Divi Aruba and the Tama Aruba, I mentioned also that they renovated since the pandemic. Stayed there the fam trip before this last one that I did, had dinner there last week. I love the hotel. 5 years ago, I would have told you may be aware that you may not, your clients may not be happy staying there. I can't say that anymore because they've really done a great job. They also have the Alhambra Casino over here. They've got the market over here, and there are any number of different restaurants that you can walk to. From there, by the way, to Oranjestad, 5-minute drive. We have two properties, the Renaissance Aruba, which is the Wind Creek, which is the adult side, sits right across the street from the Renaissance Ocean Suites, which is the family side. They have Renaissance Island. The boat launch goes from in between the hotels and out here. They've got the adult side, and then they've got the family side. They've got cabanas that you can have. I was out there last week. They've got the pink flamingos that you can feed. It's really kind of cool. The last thing I want to talk to you about this area. One of the properties that has been on the island forever, right at the beginning of Oranjestad, is called Talk of the Town. Talk of the Town is a smaller, like 93-room hotel that is undergoing a complete renovation. They've joined the IHG group, Intercontinental Hotels, and they're going to be, I think they have a brand called Volo or Voco. I'm not sure what it is, but I saw what their rooms are going to look like, and that is the sleeper of the century. Very, very, very nice property. They're going to be renovated and open, I think, early next year. So you'll see that one. One other hotel I want to talk to you about down here that's in Salvanetta. It's a property that is the only over-the-water bungalow property called the Aruba Ocean Villas. They currently have 12. They're building two more, so they're going to have 14. Of the 14, 10 of them will be over the water. They currently have 8. They have two more. The owner is an artist. The artist is an artist with an eclectic vibe. No two of the bungalows look alike. Very artsy fartsy, very kind of cool. If there's any downside, while the bungalows are air conditioned, the sleeping rooms are air conditioned. The other rooms have ceiling fans. So just beware. Some of them, by the way, have plunge pools. A great hotel. It's not for everybody. And it's in a location where you do need a car. So I would recommend that you send clients here for several nights and then either send them to Eagle Beach or Palm Beach for the other nights that they're there. Okay, now moving on. So you see the last red star. This is where the Secrets Baby Beach is located. I was also lucky enough to have stayed there last week ago, this past Sunday night. Baby Beach is interesting. I didn't realize that what made the beach so easy and easy to swim in because there's very little wave action. And it turns out, I found out last week that this outcropping of rocks and debris or whatever is actually man-made, and it was man-made when the fuel refinery was built. That was one of the conditions, I guess, or one of the benefits that the oil company did for their employees. So anyway, this is really popular with the local community. It's a gorgeous stretch of beach. Now, again, I mentioned also that all the beaches in Aruba are public. So because the Secrets is not able to have their own private beach club, they have a beach concierge who has beverages, who also has chairs, and they're, I understand, in the process of getting new umbrellas, but the beach concierge will send you, you tell them where you want to go, they will give you they'll set you up over there. So that's how they've worked with the sort of limitations that a public beach offers to them. But if you know Baby Beach, if you've been there before, Baby Beach is, well, the resort is on a little bluff over the beach, and the beach is down here. You can either take the shuttle, it takes about 5 minutes to go down there, or you can walk it. It's easy to do, easy to go to. Property opened up about a month ago. Actually, almost 2 months ago. The pictures don't quite do it justice because the foliage and the plantings and everything is coming into their own, but it was gorgeous. I absolutely loved it. I had never stayed in the Secrets before. It is luxurious. It's upscale. It's adults only. It's all inclusive. I had several meals there. I've had breakfast there and dinner there when I was there about a week and a half ago. One of their restaurants, their Italian restaurant called Filomena. No, I'm sorry, Portofino. They have Asian, they've got steak, they've got disco, they've got great facilities over there. The picture that you see on the lower right is the pool area of their spa. The picture on the upper right is actually their preferred club lounge. This is where the preferred club people will check in. They have food and beverage over there during the course of the day as well. So you can go there for a little nibblies, you can get a drink. Also, if you're waiting for your room. Love, love, love this property. So um, now let's talk about how you get to Aruba. There's really no excuse because the longest flight, as you can see, is 5.5 hours from Minneapolis. East Coast, 4 hours, 4.5 hours, 4 hours and change. A little lower if you're leaving from Florida or from the Midwest. If you're coming in from the West Coast, you have to make a change of planes. There's no nonstop service, and depending upon which airport you're going to connect to, you may in fact have to do a layover. But there's an abundant amount of airlift coming into Aruba. We now require, it's not an option anymore. In the past, when you got on the plane and when you were about a half an hour out from arriving in Aruba, the flight attendants would go up and down the aisles and they would give you the paper that you had to fill out so that you could give it to the customs person, an immigration person in Aruba when you got there. Now, it is mandatory that it be done online. We created a website, www.edcardaruba.aw, which is the only, and I will emphasize the word only, place where you can go to do it. There are companies out there that will try to scam your clients. So this is the only one that they can go to. What happens if the clients are scammed by them? They will charge you more than $20. The sustainability fee is something I'll talk about in just a minute. But they'll charge you, let's say, $69.99 per person. They'll ask you for your passport information. They'll ask you for your credit card. They'll ask you for all the information. They'll tell you that everything is wonderful. And then after your credit card goes through, you're going to get an email from the credit card company saying, we suspect that there's some suspicious activity on your card. Did you do this? And at that point, you'll say, oops, I was scammed. So make sure that you go to this website and do it. It has to be done and completed up to 7 days prior to your scheduled arrival. So if you're going to be leaving on the 10th of August or September, you can do it from September 3rd onward. If you're a procrastinator or you forgot to do it, you can do it no later than 4 hours prior to your departure. So if you're leaving at 4 o'clock, you have until noon that day to do it. We are now charging every visitor from 8 years of age and up a $20 sustainability fee. The sustainability fee goes for keeping the water treatment plant up to snuff, keeping our desalination plant up to snuff, keeping our electrical grid going, making sure that the wind farms are working, keeping our tourist attractions like the Bashir Bana Gold Mine, which is a tourist attraction and up and running and allowing people to go there, going to Baby Bridge and just seeing what the island has to offer. So this is where the $20 fee goes to. If you have the good fortune of going more than once, you only pay it once. The system will recognize that you are coming back a second time and it won't charge your credit card. So again, everybody 8 years of age and up has to do it. This is our travel. Actually, this is our general website, aruba.com. But there's now a link over there directly to the website, the edcardaruba website. So I throw the in you to tell you that yes, you can in fact do it through our website. So we have a brand spanking new USA Departures terminal. This is not what it looked like when I was there on Saturday. It was busy to no end. So one of the issues, for lack of a better way to put it, that Aruba suffers from, and we're victims of our own success in that we're very popular, and we have most of our nonstop departures are Saturday, Sunday, Friday, and maybe Monday. Those are the days when the airport is chock-a-block full. The lines take you a long time. But with the new U.S. departures terminal, we are taking use of technology to eliminate the requirement that the guests or visitors going back to the United States had to do, which was to pick up your bag, put it through security, identify your bag again a second time, and then drop it off again. The technology has eliminated that. And so what happens is that when you get to U.S. Customs on Aruba, yes, if you weren't aware of it, you do U.S. Customs there as well. The U.S. Customs agent will say, Richard, hi, how are you? Is that your bag? You'll see on a screen your bag, and you identify it. So that makes it go faster. So we eliminate the third passenger processing checkpoint. I will tell you that when you check it on the days when the nonstops are there, it gets rather busy. There is a service, by the way, when you go through U.S. Customs, global entry takes 0 time at all to use, and we also use the MPC as well. That's also available. There is a service, you may or may not know of it. It's called First Class Experience Aruba. For comparison's sake, it's the Aruban version of Club Mobi, if you've ever used that in Jamaica. It's a concierge service, but what they do is they hand hold you. When you check in over here on the right, there will be people in a suit, black tie, white shirt with a tablet with your name on it that will say Bromberg, and I will go to the person and I'll say, thank you very much, you're here. Let me escort you to the ticket counter to do your check-in. Once they do that, they then take you to do the Aruban Immigration and Custom, which is in the terminal next to adjacent. This is actually where you come in. It's in this building. And then you do the American side. So what you're doing by utilizing the services and paying $155 per service is that you are eliminating the lines. It literally took me from arrival at the airport to getting to my gate about 35 minutes. If you did not take their services, it could take you upwards of 3 hours. So I don't want to say it's not a buyer beware thing. I'll say it's $155 really, really, really well spent. So I'll leave it at that. Travel advisor resources. So we have a Facebook page. It's called Aruba Travel Experts. Kim Riddle, our BDM USA, is the administrator, but it's a great resource to go to. I highly recommend that if you are not currently taking part of this, that you go there and ask to be let in. There's something about 9,000 or so advisors in the US that are part of this. So what's the advantage to you? If you had a question at 9 o'clock in the morning and you posted it to the group, 99% sure that either Kim or somebody else that's part of the page will give you an answer by 6 o'clock that afternoon. So that's really important. So it's a great resource tool for I have a group of 10 people. I need a beachfront restaurant for the group. Where do you recommend I go? Things like that. Travel Advisor website, we have the agent side of that. That's agents.aruba.com. But perhaps most importantly, and I would encourage you to do this if you're not currently an Aruba certified expert, is to go visit our program. It's housed at Travel Agent Academy, and that's the web address, travelagentacademy.com/Aruba. Multiple modules. I think there are 5 modules that have been updated for the new properties that are on the island. And once you complete the program, it can take as long as you'd like. You can do as fast as you like. We're then advised that you've completed the program. I send you an email saying, thank you very much for completing the program. This is who I am. I'm your BDM. Let's work together, however it is, whatever it may be. And we also ask you, everybody and their brother that is a resort or a destination, asks you to just take some time to report your bookings. And I recognize that it takes a ton of time to do everybody that asks you that. So if you can do that, there's the benefit. There's the potential that you could win a cash prize from us. We do random drawings, but it also tells us who's serious, who's booking us a lot, who is our go-to for the A list of people when we do events, when we do some fam trips, things of that nature. It helps really cement the relationship between the two of us. So I would highly encourage you to please take the time to do that. And then again, it just helps to cement the relationship. So one more picture. This is who we are. Kim is our CDM. Well, I should change that. Actually, she's no longer the BDM for the South. That's me. But Natasha Lee Soy does the tri-state area of the New York area. I'm in the Southeast, which also includes the Mid-Atlantic. Angela Restivo is on the West Coast, and Liliana Mancini handles upstate New York and Canada. So this is the end of my presentation. So I will end that. I will stop the share, and I will be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Well, thank you very much, Richard. That was an amazing presentation.
Well, thank you.
Does anyone have any questions? If you do, please put those in the chat. I do have one right now, and it says, do you have to fill the ED card out if cruising?
No, you don't.
Oh, great.
No, you don't.
That's good to know.
No, you don't.
Okay. Any other questions? They're saying thank you, the Global Interest Entry Program. Very good presentation. Lorraine asked, what is the name of the All Suites Hotel?
Let me think about this. Which one is All Suites? You take well, I'm sorry, the Embassy Suites.
Embassy Suites.
Also, the family side of the Renaissance is also the Ocean Suites. So that one's all suites. And then the other ones are certainly there are any number of hotels that have a good amount of suites as well.
Okay. I have a question. Richard, do you work with travel agents to put together fam trips, or How are those coordinated?
So fam trips are done per territory, one per year.
Okay.
So it's only open to the people, I don't want to say only. My A list, my go-to list first for invitees are reporting ACE agents. My second one are ACE agents. The challenge that we have is that we typically go eight travel advisors. So if you want to if you want to get on my radar, report your bookings. Basically, is the first way to do it. Um, if you wanted to do your own fam trip,
Mm-hmm.
we could work with you to help get in touch with hotels. Um, we do this program sort of like the individual fam trip. I'll say it. So if somebody's going down on vacation and they
Mm-hmm.
wanted to site inspect hotels, we did offer, although we ended it about 3 months ago for the balance of the year, based on manpower on our side, to basically help, drive you around to 4 different hotels to see the hotels. But
Okay.
manpower was a little bit at a premium for the second half of this year, so we're not doing it until 2026. But that would be another way that you can also have the tourism authority work with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
I do have another question. Do you all provide any promotional materials, or let's say I have that group that's going out in April, and if I wanted to put together some bags or materials, do you all provide?
Yes, the short answer is yes. We still, I was going to say, regrettably print brochures. Although we do have a QR code on the back of my business card. I have to see if I can send it to you. We have our sales kit, which
Okay.
does have a lot of the stuff that we print that's downloadable. So you can download it for yourself, keep it in the library, and then send it to your clients on a one-on-one basis. But
Mhm.
yes, absolutely. Tell me what you need. Our offices are in New Jersey, and we have a ton of information there. And we can help support you in putting together a little goodie bag for your clients that are going and all that. So
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
Someone asked, could you please explain the fee of 155 and how does that work?
Okay, so I I went off. I didn't really explain it all that way. So First Class Experience Aruba is a private company that again does exactly what Club Mobe does. They are a concierge service that helps expedite you and your clients through the lines to get from point A at the terminal to going to the gate. So they are bookable on their website, which is firstclassaruba.com. They're also sellable through Project Expedition. They're also sellable through Viator. They pay, I think, either 15 or 20% commission. And that if you, as a travel advisor, wanted to use their services, I think they give you a 15% discount. I think, if I'm not mistaken, for you to get your commission when you work with them, you have to email them at reservations@firstclassaruba.com, and they will then either net the commission from the payment, or I'm not sure exactly of the procedure, but I think that that's the way that you can get your commission from them. I highly recommend it. Boy, I'll tell you, if people don't want to stand in line for hours, if they have mobility issues, if it's really hot out, and we average 90 degrees pretty much year round. And even though we may have the trade winds blowing, it still is 90 degrees. So I would highly recommend it.
Thank you.
By the way, I don't necessarily think it's really all that valuable when you arrive in Aruba, or perhaps on the days when there are any weekday, because getting through the airport when you don't have the nonstops is much easier. But getting off a plane, arriving in Aruba, going through immigration, customs, and picking up your bag, you don't really need to be held for that.
Mhm.
So I'll share that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the chat? If you have any questions, you can also come off the mic and ask. You're just saying thank you. Great presentation. I love Aruba. My husband and I went there for our honeymoon and we can't wait to come back. I know you mentioned earlier on that you had some PDFs and other
Yes.
materials that you would like to share. You can email those to Nina Mitchell, who you
Perfect.
have
I will.
been speaking with. prior to the
Perfect.
presentation, and she'll get those out to everyone that's on the call here.
Perfect. Wow, this is a great opportunity. Thank you so much, Lakeisha. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. And we appreciate you taking the time out to present to us today, and have a great evening.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Enjoy your dinner if you haven't eaten yet.
All right.
Dinner time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.